Good morning. Welcome to this demonstration of QAgentic, the AI native testing automation. Exponentially scale your test coverage will fundamentally transform your quality assurance. 3 challenge continue to constrain delivery. First, test coverage always constrained by manual efforts, time, resource availability. Second, DevOps scalability. Release management and DevOps process do not scale efficiently as the volume cascades grows. This creates bottlenecks in delaying your delivery pipeline. Third, cross-team communication overhead. Coordination among business, testing, and development teams introduce significant frictions. The misaligned expectation, incomplete bug report, and fragmented handover. QAgentic is engineered to address each of these challenges. Let me walk you through how. QAgentic bring business intent to testing, not using scripts. QAgentic enable AI agent execute autonomously. Lastly, QAgentic provide 100% auditability in every run. Let's begin with the most fundamental capability. Create test cases. The tester can create a test case by clicking Create New Test Cases. Here, we create the test case by providing the application URL. Each of the test steps is authored in natural language, plain English description of the user action, and there's no need for scripting or coding expertise. This dramatically lowers the barrier to entry and enable business analysts and domain experts to contribute directly. In practice, the most common workflow is for testers to derive test case from a requirement document. This is where QAgentic AI capability deliver transformative values. So we're looking at a product requirement document with a typical flow chart. What QAgentic can do is we click the Generate Test Case from PRD button. We upload this requirement document. We provide QAgentic AI engine with the URL of the application and instructs the focus area. This is because sometimes the requirement document will be outdated. We want the AI engine to go to the live applications to walk through the requirement document scenario. Once this is provided, we will click Upload Analysis button. This is where QAgentic AI engine will navigate to the live application to understand the current UI and workflow, parse and interpret the requirements from the uploaded document, automatically generate comprehensive test case aligned to both the requirements and the actual application behavior. This AI-driven approach directly addresses the cross-team communication overhead. Once the AI completed the analysis, we're presented with a test case review screen. Here, QAgentic has generated 15 test cases. Let's examine the breadth of coverage that AI has produced. First, the positive test cases. This represents a standard expected user journey. In this instance, the complete workflow for creating a lead in Salesforce.com. Second, the negative test cases. The AI has identified the required field and generated a scenario that deliberately omits them, verifying the appropriate messages are triggered. Third, the integration test cases. These verify cross-system integrity. For example, confirming that duplicate vectors are not created. Last, the edge cases. This validates the boundary conditions such as field length, ensuring application handle extreme input. Provide a quick overview of how the generated test case map to overall test cases. Once we create test cases, all test cases will be imported. The test case can be further modified, especially adding parameters like test data using variables. Enable data-driven testing across multiple scenarios without duplicating the test cases. We can also define the logical relationship among test cases, the prerequisite, the dependencies, essential for designing long-running end-to-end test workflows that span across multiple systems and validates complex processes. Verification step at the end of each test case can be fine-tuned to ensure precise validation of both positive and negative outcome. For enterprise application with complex UI, such as Salesforce.com, testers can provide contextual instructions to guide the AI engine. For example, we've added a guidance indicating the inverted triangle button is alias for show action. Enable the AI engine to correctly interpret the Salesforce.com UI. This is how QAgentic can exponentially scale a labor-intensive manual process, enabling a single tester to analyze, create, manage a volume of test cases impossible to handle manually. For organizations that already maintain the test cases repository, QAgentic also supports the import of an Excel spreadsheet of test cases. QAgentic will ingest them immediately. No reformatting is required. This ensures a seamless migration path for teams transition from legacy test management tools. Now, let us move to the test execution, where QAgentic translate your test cases into automated, auditable test runs. We begin by creating a test plan. Test plan serves as the orchestration layer for test execution. Select execution mode either in sequential or parallel, and we choose the test cases to be included. We've created test plan and then manage the test cases by select which one to be included. We can then further define the execution schedule, either a one-time or a recurring schedule at a fixed interval or custom time. This is how QAgentic address the DevOps scalability challenges. Once configured, test plan execute automatically, scaling your testing cadence without proportional resource increases. With the test plan defined, we configure the execution parameter, the target environment, in this case, iSite environment, the login credential, and the device preset. Then triggers the execution. QAgentic AI agent will navigate it to the application, execute each of the test steps, and record every interaction, all without human intervention. You can monitor the test execution status in real time. Once the test run completes, we execute test run report by clicking on test run ID. The report opens a digital home, presenting test statistics, newly discovered issues, the known failures, what's blocking the test. This enables rapid triage without sifting through individual test cases. Below the summary, we identify which test cases failed and the root cause of each failure. This level of diagnostic clarity is what enables teams to accelerate their release cycle while maintaining quality standard. Click into the detailed report. We see a fully auditable screen recording. This is where QAgentic navigates the Salesforce.com UI executing each test. This recording can be downloaded into a complete audit file. In the positive test cases, we can confirm that all the steps are performed successfully, including the critical final verification step. In the negative test cases, the report clearly defines the exact step where test failed and the reason. For example, the lead was created successfully, but the verification step, the lead status, was new instead of the expected non-new value deliberately set. This precision in failure diagnostic is what eliminates ambiguity that traditionally causes delay in bug resolution process. Transparency is essential for debugging and provide both testers and developers with the exact context they need to understand test behavior, no guesswork, no ambiguity. Clicking the video recording, you can review a complete visual recording of the test execution process, suitable for audit purpose and collaboration. But this is where QAgentic directly addressed what many QA teams describe as their most significant pinpoint, the communication gap between testing and development team. Rather than lengthy written descriptions that are open to interpretation, developer can simply watch the exact sequence of the event, understand the failure context, and begin remediation. Having identified the failure, the next step is to initiate the bug resolution workflow. This is where QAgentic seamless DevOps integration delivers significant value. From the test result screen, the tester can simply create the bug. QAgentic automatically generate a detailed bug report that includes the failure description, the specific step where the failure occurs, and critically, the full test execution record. This bug can be integrated into your DevOps platform. In this case, we use Liga. You can also use GUI and other tools. The bug will be available in the bug report. Once we click View Bug, this will open up the DevOps platform. Within the DevOps platform, the developer can immediately access the bug details, including the test execution recording. This way, the developer will see exactly where the failure occurs, also ensure end-to-end traceability through the entire bug fix cycle. So look at this bug, 6922. QAgentic ensure end-to-end traceability through the entire life cycle. The bug is not only available in the DevOps platform, planned with the release, the bug will also be pushed into developers' IDE. In this case, we're looking at the bug 6922. You can also access the execution records once the developer performs the bug fix code changes. In this case, I will mimic a process to make code change. Developer can create a code merge request, automatically appending which bug it's fixing. And then the code can be pushed into the repository. Now get back to our DevOps tools. We can see the code has been changed and committed into the repository, and we can also see the status has been changed to infix status. This is because of the code commit traceabilities from the testing platform on bug identification to project management platform on the bug fix process. We can also see the dashboard of our current agile sprint, how many bugs is being fixed, and we track the end-to-end case and bugs a fix and retest process. Thank you very much for your time. Looking